2013, Tattoo's looking for a co-host. You know what I'm saying? Your uncle would actually connect the dots, which is where you would end up meeting DJ Hed.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that she says about DJ Hed is that he haunts her dreams if she's being lazy. Now, speak to us about the very first time stepping into that room and, you know, coming around tattooing all those guys, and how did they went for you?
Well, automatic from the moment I saw Tat, we just embraced each other. We had these, it was just like a right away, like good feeling, like just almost just like seeing someone else in you and your character, but a male version, you know? So I was like, cool, like this is great. And then we walked right in, and this is my first time meeting Tat, and he was like, you want to get on the mic? And I was like, yeah.
Ready to go. That's right. You're ready to go.
I had never did this, but knowing in the back of my mind, and like the story I've already told about, like thinking I had this radio person in me this whole time, him asking me to be on the mic was that door for that. You know what I mean? So I was like, yes. Like I'm not gonna say no. I'm like, I'll get on. And he introduced me to DJ Hed, who I had no idea at that moment how big of a role this man. Both of them. I had no idea sitting in there what a big role they both would play in my life, which is crazy. Yeah. But that's another moment where I was like going downhill thinking that life didn't have no ending for me, like in the long run, and I ended up there. So just being around them, I learned so much from Tattoo. His energy, the way, if there's anything I've really learned from how I approach on my stuff, it's been through those moments. And we only did like maybe 4 or 5 shows, which is crazy. But I grasped all that I needed to in that room, and that's where we are. That's where I ran with it. Like I ran with it. And he took me to a lunch the next day. He said, let's get together. Let's go to lunch. I want to talk to you. He gave me this, this really great talk, and I'll never ever forget it. And he gave me a choice, in my head. He said, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? What do you think you're going to do in the next 5 years? And I was like, I don't know. Like in my head, back of my head, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be here, But like, I'm like, dang, like, I don't know, 5 years. My mentality was so different. Almost like a little thug, like, it's weird, but that's how I felt. And he said, what are you gonna do in the next 5 years? And I said, I don't know. And he said, you're not gonna be a doctor. You're not gonna be a lawyer. Like, I can't see you doing anything else other than this in the next 5 years. Confirmation, once again. That's like with me not even telling him my backstory. That's with me not telling him that I love the radio, that I want to be on the radio someday. That's with me not explaining like all these fears that I couldn't speak out loud because I was afraid of people shutting me down. I come from that area of people shutting your big dreams down. So you almost just don't let them out because you don't want to hear anybody mess that up. Yeah, and we all go through that, though. Yeah, sure. Because the thing is, most of the time we talking to people who either never had a dream, or if they had one, they never went for it. Yeah, you got to talk to people who had those dreams and accomplished those things. That was my moment. Yeah, that was my moment. So then, as soon as I took that to the heart, and I ran with it. And being around DJ Hed, I had my moment too, where like, I was a young buck walking in there, and he straight up told me one day, he's like, "You're good, but you drink too much." Ooh, flat out. Oh yeah. He told me, "You're good, you drink too much." I was like, oh shit. Like, but like, I'm already getting that big brother feeling from him. So I was like, he's probably right. Like, because we're on the mic, and I don't want to look stupid, and I don't want to, and it was like a young moment, but he meant it, and I took it for what that was, and I just kind of always listened to Hed. Like, I just always took whatever he said because he was honest. Yeah. And I could appreciate someone who's going to hit me with some honesty. Right. And that's his reputation. That's being honest. And it's crazy how far that thing has blown up because that is his reputation. And I see him helping so many people the way he used to just help me. It's amazing. Firsthand. To see it. Now I gotta ask you now, when you say DJ Hed haunts your dreams, I mean, give us an example of DJ Hed haunting a dream when you know that you're not on your stuff. Yeah, so when DJ Hed was haunting my dreams at the time. That's because I was working my full-time job, and I was trying to make time for a relationship. I was trying to make time to chase. I was actually on Bureau TV already.
Okay.
You know, doing my own thing now.
Yeah.
Way later, I got my own show after that, and I did that for 5 years. But making time for everybody and all, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. So I was like, less time with family, more time with the relationship, less time, you know, as soon as I'm out of work, like the next day I got to do this. Like my whole day was for my show. And, you know, time scheduling and doing all that it can be annoying. It can be crazy. It could be hard.
For sure.
But DJ Hed would always hit me up. We had a talk one day. And after that talk, he just started checking in on me, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning, 8, always in the morning. This will never call me at night. Like
he call you when he wake up.
He called me like, are you up working? Are you up doing what you need to do? And I would be, but sadly, I'd always be at work, you know, and I hated picking up that phone to tell him I was doing something that wasn't about my dream, other than paying the bills. I wanted him to hit me up and I'm working on my shit. I want him to hit me up and I'm interviewing someone. I'm on the mic, you know. And I know those things take time, but I felt the pressure from him and I wanted to be great. I wanted not just for him, but like for myself. And when I couldn't come through at times, I would almost feel myself. If I got really tired after work and I needed a nap, I mean, I would beat myself up.
I feel you.
Like you're not doing it. Like you're still not there because you would literally, you're so tired from this job.
Yeah. Ooh, wait.
You know, and I would beat myself up. So it would honestly depress me. It would just super, super depress me. And I know he really like got something off that. Like, he posted it too when I started talking about it, because later I actually spoke about it on my podcast. It was good for me though.
Yeah. It's good to have those type of people in your life.
It was good for me. It was look at, like I said, I didn't grow up with no father. So like what would have made the difference? Like that's tough love. Like that's tough love. And even though at times it was almost like maybe bringing me down more because I couldn't keep up with his greatness, I still found a way to strive for it. So in the long run, it was everything that I needed. But during those moments, it's tough. It's tough to like not be at any level, and then you're working all day, and that job makes you so tired. I used to work at Trader Joe's. You know, so that's a market job, and you're doing a lot of lifting, and like your back is crazy, and you're cutting yourself.
Man, talk about that, John.
You know what I mean? It was a physical and then mental too, because I worked in Pasadena, which was like a culture shock for me, because I went from like this ghetto little girl to like talking like white people, you know, and I had to just, I always had to like, I can't do half-ass anything. So if I'm at my job, I mean, I'm Mexican too, so I work hard as fuck. You know what I mean? So your girl's not just going in there and acting the part. Like, no, your girl's like in there busting her ass, and because I don't like to leave a bad job behind.
That's right.
And it would take a lot out of me, but I couldn't keep up with what he was doing. So he was like, I just, I wear the clothes that people give me, and I just shower at the gym, and but I'm
wow.
I'm like, man, like, I can't just shower at the gym, Hed. Like, I also gotta buy makeup. So there was all these other little excuses that I hated to give him because I knew he just wanted me to be great, and I felt like if I wasn't following his print, then I was on the path to not being great.